Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new Marvel's Avengers video. And today it is an exciting one indeed, because we now get an update for what is in store for the next 3 months or so for Marvel's Avengers as we head into the fall and winter season and the conclusion of the year for 2021. Now, of course, in addition to that, that was actually presented as an actual roadmap once again, which is pretty exciting. So I'm looking forward to breaking it all down, including a nice early look at Spider-Man, which is pretty exciting as well. Of course, in addition to all that, guys, I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys down in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think of this roadmap, because it's been divisive, to say the least, which, to be fair, I think is pretty much the case with anything that Marvel's Avengers does, because for the most part, people do seem to be quite divided on this title. Some people are super duper hardcore happy with the announcements, and then some people are like more of the same. I honestly feel like I'm somewhere in the middle on the two, and I'll explain why. So with all that in mind, let's get rocking rolling. Of course, if you don't know what a roadmap is, essentially we have gotten one of these before, up in the lead up for the War for Wakanda DLC. They did release a huge, much more impressive roadmap, to be quite honest, that seemed quite exciting. And it was like, okay, this is pretty ambitious. There's a lot of stuff included in this. And then, of course, they slowly but surely knocked it out of the park for the most part and delivered everything on that particular roadmap, aside from one game mode. But with that being said, here's what the rest of the year actually looks like. Now, I gotta be honest, I think let's get the big elephant out of the room, and that is Spider-Man. So first and foremost, obviously, as you can see, at some point in the fall/winter period, we will be getting the Spider-Man hero event. Now, when I'm saying we will be getting, I should clarify, if you're part of the PlayStation ecosystem, you will be getting Spider-Man. And that's where, again, I think the biggest flaw with this roadmap is the fact that if you look at this, it looks quite lacking if you are an Xbox player or a PC player, because you don't have a big release to be looking forward to. I mean, there's a lot of small things being either brought back or small changes being made to the game, which is very exciting, but there really isn't a big piece of content that you could be super duper stoked for, aside from the brand new raids, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. But first and foremost, a nice little shot right there of Spider-Man. Now, to be fair, people are like jumping to conclusions and saying, this is what he looks like. And I got to be honest, first and foremost, shout out to Manny and shout out to Spider for going on ahead and actually pointing that out to me, because I legit did this video once and did not even pick up on the fact that Spider-Man was in that image for this roadmap. But I will say, again, from the shot, it does look like it is going to be classic looking Spidey in terms of just the scale of him. Almost reminds me a little bit of Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse, but Spider or Peter B. Parker. That's kind of the look that I feel like they're going for. So I think it's going to be a much more classic looking Spidey when we compare him to, let's say, something like Marvel's Spider-Man or that particular series of games. I don't think that it's going to be more of that like futuristic-y take. I think they'll go much more classic with him. Now, the other thing that's very interesting to me here is the way that it's actually released, or I guess phrased on this roadmap. The fact that it says it's a new hero event only on PlayStation for Spider-Man. It feels a little underwhelming. Like, it seems like, will Spider-Man be not a huge, significant release? And I know that this could be a double-edged sword here, because on one hand, maybe the reason why they're trying to tone it down is to make sure that they don't alienate the Xbox and the PC community, so that they feel like, okay, well, what are we getting? What are we going to get to play while PlayStation gets their Spider-Man release? On the other hand, I do also think that there's a very small chance that this DLC has any type of story in it that's particularly substantial. And the reason for that is because, well, you can't have an element of the story be locked up for one ecosystem. It makes no sense. It would be crazy if they literally progressed the story in a significant way, but it's only available for PlayStation players to experience. So because of that, I'm assuming that it really will be more just like a throwaway set of missions or something like that. But of course, still very, very excited to get the chance to play as Spider-Man. So that's definitely the biggest element of this whole thing, is the fact that PlayStation players will get to play Spider-Man. But what does everybody else get to look forward to? Well, as you can see, for September, they do have the 1 year anniversary announcements as the main elements, which have all gone live aside from the week 2 rewards. So they did go on ahead and mention that the week 1 rewards, obviously, we already know. I've made a video about that. That was the Iron Man skin and the bundle of stuff, which was the hero catalyst, the nameplate, things like that. And then for week 2, they're going to be giving us a free Thor skin and an additional hero catalyst, most likely an XP boost. Nice. Again, it's free. Can't really complain about that. But I also do think that it does feel a little bit underwhelming to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of the game with just a couple of free releases. I really think they should have gone all out and did something really, really just over the top and epic to bring more people in and maintain the momentum that they've already established with War for Wakanda. Because I know personally several friends who got back into the game, spent a little bit of time playing, but now slowly are drifting away from the game again because they feel like there's a lack of content again. There's no incentive to continue playing. Well, it looks like there might be a possibility of that excitement coming back over the course of the next couple of months, because the other big announcement from this particular roadmap is the fact that they will be adding their first raid. Now, of course, if you've ever played an online game of this style, like Marvel's Avengers, like something like Destiny, for example, or did Diablo have online raids? I don't remember. Maybe it did. But essentially, it's a much more difficult mission and task that requires a lot of coordination from your entire team. And it's something that could be quite exciting. Now, interestingly enough, they're choosing to go on ahead and focus on Klaw for this, which I guess makes sense considering we're just coming off the heels of War for Wakanda, where Klaw was the main bad guy that we had fought. But I also feel like it's a little odd in terms of the story-wise elements, because in War for Wakanda, the way that the story plays out, I don't want to spoil it, but I almost feel like Crossbones is a much more intriguing character that we need to learn about. So I'm a little confused as to why we're using Klaw for the first raid, but I guess time will tell. Regardless, that's the thing that everybody, doesn't matter if you're a PlayStation player, an Xbox player, or a PC player, everyone will get to experience the raid system. So that's pretty exciting. And they will be doing 2 different versions of it, because they're going to be doing a much more like souped up variation of it, which let me make sure that I actually read it right out so that I do not butcher any of the details. We've also polished our first raid, available in both standard, which is power levels 150 through 160, which is going to be something that, again, will be happening over the course of this particular next roadmap. We're going to be getting a level cap increase to the power levels. So before this, we did get an increase to the levels, or I guess technically it wasn't the levels getting an increase. It was more of an introduction of a post 50 level up system. So now you could go on ahead and continue to level past level 50 by leveling up to champion level, and you could work through. Well, now it looks like the power levels will also be increasing, and that cap will be increased, I believe, to power level 160 at first. But then if you go on ahead and complete the elite mode, that's where you can go on ahead and tackle missions at power level 160 through 175. So those are going to be the much more difficult ones. But the other cool thing is that supposedly in those elite modes, that's where you're going to be able to unlock that high level power gear to keep leveling up your power level further, which again, I think is an interesting strategy. We'll see if it becomes frustrating. It really all comes down to the gameplay of the raid, and if there's frustrating elements to it, or if the gameplay loop there is actually fun. But the other details for this, they do say this will offer the conclusion to Klaw's story in War for Wakanda. So the raid will be the wrap up of Klaw as far as War for, or Marvel's Avengers, I guess, is concerned. This will be the most challenging content yet, meant not to only test the mastery of each hero, but also the well-built 4-player strike teams out there. Collaboration and observation are crucial to beating this one. The Klaw raid features custom-crafted levels, new threats that require complex and tactical combat, and stronger enemy variety themed to the villain being faced. New enemies called Echoes. That's another exciting thing. We are getting a new enemy type. Sound constructs created by Klaw have been created and tailored exclusively for this experience, With the power level increased to 175, yielding more compelling drops, it is a notable example of replayable and rewarding content that fits our mantra moving forward. So again, that's the big piece of content that we get to look forward to, is really the raid. Outside of that, in terms of smaller things, we are going to be getting a nameplate challenge for the Hawkeye Disney Plus show. That's cool. Again, it really all comes down to hopefully some sort of a reinvigoration to the challenge system itself. I really wish there would be more stuff like that wasn't pretty much just a loop of, hey, defeat this type of enemy 75 times or land a parry 100 times. I really wish that there would be more stuff that wasn't just dependent on gameplay. I would love to see more challenges that are maybe just like, hey, visit the helicarrier and talk to character X or Y, stuff that would progress the story in small ways, but within the challenges themselves. Give us small little cutscenes, small little interactions on the different outposts. I mean, we have so many different areas that are available in the game to visit as the outposts. There really is no reason or incentive to go there outside of accepting your daily missions. So I think it'd be really cool if they actually incorporated some more challenges to incentivize you to visit the outposts. And maybe it could be just something as simple as like, hey, buy something from a merchant in Wakanda, just something like that. I know that it's a minor detail, but I think that it would incentivize people to spend more time in the different outposts. So hopefully we'll see something like that. They're going to go on ahead and also rework earnable cosmetics, which basically will make it hopefully a lot more rewarding to earn the in-game credits that are available within the game, so that then you could go on ahead and cash those in for great cosmetics. I'm looking forward to that. Of course, the previously mentioned power level cap increase, the new enemy type of the Echoes, which will be part of the raid that we've previously discussed. They're going to be still running bonus XP weekends, which I think is a great idea to continue to incentivize new players to come in. And then they're bringing back every single event type that they've had. So that means Corrupted Vibranium, which I'm stoked for. That is a fantastic, fantastic event. The Red Room Takeover is back. The Tachyon Anomaly is back. The Cosmic Threats are back. And of course, last but certainly not least, across the entirety of the roadmap, at the bottom, they say outfits inspired by the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So you can obviously tell that those costumes are probably selling quite well. And my guess, because they obviously go on ahead and on this particular roadmap acknowledge the Hawkeye Disney Plus show, my guess is that probably we will be getting the Kate Bishop design or a costume design from the show released in the game as well. Maybe we'll get another Hawkeye skin as well based on that Disney Plus show. And then outside of that batch, I'm still hopeful for an Iron Man Mark III. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I also do probably venture to guess that we will get a Spider-Man MCU skin, most likely as well. But again, that will be exclusive to PlayStation. And so, again, the problem with the roadmap is that I feel like, again, being a PlayStation player, I'm kind of excited because I have Spider-Man to look forward to. I have that raid to look forward to. I think some of the other elements that they've said that they're going to be working on, like the rework of the gears and the resources, it's all stuff that's exciting, or at least in theory it is. The problem is it's all going to come down to the execution. Can they actually deliver on these promises? And will it no longer be underwhelming? Because they've taken away the cosmetics and reworked them and then brought them back. And I really don't think that they've gotten much better. They've gotten better in terms of bundling stuff, but I still think that the cosmetics could use some work. And so because of that, right now, we just have to be honest about the fact that the track record is not great. And because of that, yes, we're all hesitant. But at the same time, I am cheering for this game to do well because I actually do still have a lot of fun with it. Like when War for Wakanda came out, it was an absolute blast playing through that campaign. And I just hope that this much more, I guess, content light roadmap will lead to an exciting start to the next year. And I'm hopeful because of the fact that also in the same blog post, which was titled Marvel Avengers State of the Game Update number 2, which was posted along with the roadmap, they actually do go on ahead and specifically mention that in the latter half of the winter season, they have the plans for new heroes as well. And so hopefully Doctor Strange and the rumored Scarlet Witch are those characters that we'll get to play sooner rather than later. With all that in mind, let me know, guys, in the comment section below, what do you think of this roadmap? Do you think that it is a decent, I guess, path for us to look forward to for the next couple of months for Marvel's Avengers? Do you think that it is lacking in content? How do you feel if you're an Xbox or a PC player? I'm genuinely curious to hear from you guys in particular, because again, I know that one of the most exciting elements of this roadmap, or the most exciting element of this roadmap, which would be the character of Spider-Man, is exclusive to PlayStation. So do you feel like if you're an Xbox player or a PC player, do you feel kind of left out? Do you feel like there's a lack of content for you? Let me know down in the comment section below. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notifications, guys. Like always, you can support the channel by grabbing some merch. Thank you so very much for your support, and I will hopefully catch you guys here next time. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, everybody.